Hey everybody, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Capricorn tarot reading for the month of November. So sorry about last month. I know it was a bit crazy. There was a lot of things that were happening at that time, so I didn't get to do as many readings as I normally would do. However, that's why I'm kind of coming in full force this month, because I want to make sure that you get the information, because some of it obviously will be very relevant to some of you out there. So I'm really sorry for the delay, but yeah, there was just a lot of things happening at that time, so that kind of pushed me behind. So today I'm going to be doing this slightly differently. As you'll notice, I have the two cameras, one where you can see the spread that I've already pulled, and then of course the camera of course facing myself. So I'll be curious to know your thoughts, whether or not you like this layout or if you prefer how I usually do it with just the camera facing myself. So yeah, do let me know, because I am kind of experimenting a lot with the layout until I find the thing that I feel is right for myself, and also what is helpful for yourself, okay? So first of all, I'm just going to clarify the Celtic cross spread that I have here. I just think it's easier to do it this way with the two cameras, and then I can clarify afterwards, after I go through the initial layout of what's going on here. So just to start with then, so we'll look at your present circumstances. So here you have the Four of Swords, okay? So now what this is indicating is that at this time you're currently in a state of recuperation, okay? There may be things going on that has kind of forced you or has triggered this need for self-care, right? So you're kind of coming away from whatever has been happening at this time. You may have been feeling that need to just kind of go within and take some time out from yourself, and rather than pouring so much energy into others and the circumstances surrounding you at this time, you may be pouring that back into yourself to really try and heal the areas that need more inner work, but also just to try and find what it is that matters to you and where you want to head forward at this time, okay? So a lot of self-reflection, a lot of healing, a lot of care as well is going into, all of your needs. So, mind, body, spirit, okay? So in the position of the challenge, you have the Empress here. So that's crossing you at this time, this energy, okay? So again, that's very mothering, nurturing energy. Usually with the Empress, there's someone who is embodying that kind of mother archetypal energy. So you are probably used to handling a lot of people, dealing with a lot of people who kind of need that additional support. But at this time, rather than pouring so much into others as you normally would, you're kind of giving back to yourself, because you know that you've been feeling a little bit depleted, that there may even be, excuse me, there may even be some people that have been taking advantage of your nature. So rather than just pouring unconditionally as you normally would, you're kind of taking some time to pour back into yourself. But what you need to be aware of here, with this coming up in this position, is that any guilt you have surrounding that, you shouldn't allow yourself to fall into that trap. Sorry, my throat is really bad still. I'm still not fully recovered, so do bear with me. So yeah, it may be at this time that you're kind of, even though you know you need to do that and you are pouring that energy back into yourself, it may be that you're feeling some guilt around that, because normally you would be giving and giving and giving and giving, right? But because you've had to pull back, and you may even be not isolating yourself, but you may be withdrawing a little bit and spending more time on your own, don't think that that makes you selfish, okay? Because you're doing what you need to do in order to be operating at your best. And then when you're in that place where you feel filled, that you've recharged yourself, then you can look at giving again, okay? But right now, you really need to focus on your own healing and your own self-care. So just be aware that it's okay to pour back into yourself, and actually it's really necessary to do that at this time. So that doesn't mean you have to go cold or anything like that. It's just simply finding that balance between, being able to be around others and support them, but pouring mostly back into yourself right now, okay? So then in regards to the circumstances in your recent past, you have the Five of Swords here. So that tells me that you've been feeling that disconnect from yourself quite strongly. I don't think this is so much in regards to others, although there may have been a situation where you've had to cut ties with certain people in order to protect your own energy. Okay, I don't doubt that that is the case for some of you, but I feel like more so for the majority of you who resonates with this reading, it's more of a case of cutting back, cutting your energy, okay, supply from others, because you've been feeling that disconnect, right, from yourself. So you know that you need to pour back into yourself. It may be that you haven't had any disagreements or any need to remove people from your life. It's just that at this time you felt very, very disconnected. Okay, so you're not in your power right now. So that's why you've had to take a step back and really invest in your own well-being, right? So then in your near future you have the Chariot. Okay, so this is the card of Cancer, which is obviously your direct opposite. This is your mirror opposite, okay, Cancer energy. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have Cancer in your chart. For example, I'm a sun sign Cancer, but I do have Capricorn somewhere, further in my chart. I can't remember exactly where. I have to look at it again because it's been a while, but I do have Capricorn somewhere in my chart. So it's kind of like, in some ways it can balance out the energies a little bit, but I would say definitely I'm much more geared around the Cancer energy. So for some of you that could be the reverse, that you have Cancer in your chart somewhere, but obviously you identify much more strongly with your Capricorn energy, okay? But either way, what this represents, the Chariot, is forward motion, okay? So that's decisive action. That's not someone who's just kind of going with the flow. That's someone who's making an informed decision and moving straight ahead towards whatever it is that they are trying to reach, whatever goal they're trying to accomplish, whatever situation they're wanting to move towards, person, whatever it is, okay? So I feel like you see how this horse here, this beautiful horse, has the moon crescent on its forehead where its third eye kind of region is, and then it has the sun behind them. So it's as if though being within your power, being in the space of having that full sense of equilibrium between the light and shadow self, and really being the embodiment of balance at this time, that's helping you to move forward and taking decisive action towards what it is that you want to accomplish, okay? You're feeling much more grounded, you're in your power, and with that you're using that energy, that boost, to really charge forward towards what it is that you want to accomplish, or towards a situation or a person, right? So take it however it applies. So in regards to your feelings, you have the Magician here. I love this card. It's very, very powerful energy, okay? So the Magician is obviously someone who is very much not just in their power and operating from a place of knowing, but also having that awareness that the reality that they see is a mirror of what's going on within themselves, right? So knowing that, and by utilizing the appropriate tools and coming from the state of awareness and having that know-how as well, they are able to directly affect the situation around them, the reality that they find themselves in, right? So that's what you're feeling right now. You're kind of realizing that some of the issues that you've been experiencing at this time is directly mirroring what is you've allowed to happen, okay? So what you've put out there, and maybe the lack of boundaries that you've had at this time is what's allowed people to just feed off you, right, constantly. So you're kind of realizing that now, and you're feeling the need to change, right, to gain your power back, right? And not only just gain it back, but also change how you go about dealing with people, and what kind of circumstances that you want to actually shape into your reality, right? So you're really assessing all of these things at this time, I feel, and you're really kind of rising to the challenge of, okay, I know what it is that I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do. It's it's a very powerful energy that I feel coming from you, that you're rising to the occasion, right? That's the key message I'm feeling here. Like, okay, I'm ready to rise to the occasion, which is awesome. That's exactly the kind of energy that you should be emitting at this time, Capricorn. That's very much your energy. So that's great. So let's have a look then in regards to what's crowning you at this time. So this deals with what's within your power to affect, right? So you have the 10 of Cups here, which tells me, and it's in reverse, by the way, so that tells me you've had a lot of emotions to process, okay? So you're still in that that reflective state right now, okay? So you're doing a lot of introspection, as I said before, and you've had to process a lot of things, circumstances that have happened with specific people, how it's made you feel, the stages of the different emotions that you've felt, and where you've come to now, and what it is that you want to do moving forward, how you want to feel, and the kind of energy you want to associate yourself with. So there's a lot of things that you're processing, right? And on an emotional level, it's kind of like you've come full circle and you're ready to come back to zero. You're ready for that fresh, clean slate, right? So at this time, it's important that you kind of not say, okay, I'm tired, I've been through all these things, I've felt all these things, I'm just gonna let go and just leave it and see what happens. I think you need to do the processing, okay? So allow yourself to process it, understand it, continue that work, make sense of your emotions, understand that it's valid and why, and then once you're at that point, you can just kind of take a deep breath and just let it go and say, okay, time to start fresh, right? So until you finalize that process of integrating your experiences and with your perception of those events and how that triggered specific emotions with you, until you process all of that on a deep level, you can't really have that clean slate. So just allow yourself to move through this time period of kind of processing and healing, because it's a part of the journey, and there's no rush to get to the end of the cycle, okay? I know you're tired and that you kind of want to just move forward, but it's important that you give yourself the time to do the necessary work so you can start afresh, okay? So in the position of what's within your, what's within, the card that's in the position of the advice, my bad, Mercury retrograde, it's making it even worse than normal. So yeah, the advice is the Seven of Cups, right, we'll get there. 7 of Wands in reverse. So that tells me that, yeah, you're trying to clear the cobwebs and make sense of everything, which is important. But you may be pressuring yourself to have the answer, right? So that will solve all of your problems. And it doesn't really work like that. It's a case of, it's a process, right? There's going to be a lot of different solutions for different circumstances. You may see like a massive problem, like that encompasses all the little things that are going on in your life. And you feel like because it's creating this overall energy, you feel like it's a huge problem and you needed a huge solution in order to deal with it, right? But I feel like that's not the case. I feel like the advice here is it's telling you that actually by taking little steps forward and coming up with small solutions to those individual problems, you'll be far further ahead than if you sit around waiting to come up with the ultimate answer, right? So it's fine. You don't have to, know exactly what to do in every circumstance. It's just taking each step forward, right? One step at a time, making progress. Deal with the little things, the things that are easily dealt with at this time, right? So just think about what can you actually affect now? What can you change now? So whatever is going on in your life, what are the things that you can do right now to change it for the better? That's what you need to focus on. So you do those steps first, then you can look at the bigger things, right? But if you try and do everything all at once, it doesn't work. Trust me. I know, because I've been in that situation more times than I can count. So, yeah, I know from experience, like, it just doesn't work. So you need to just take it step by step and, you know, just come up with lots of little solutions rather than trying to find a huge solution, because otherwise you're just going to stress yourself out and probably not get yourself anywhere near to coming up with some kind of, you know, solution or some idea of how to affect it, okay? So, yeah, one step at a time, little steps towards, you know, making significant progress, okay? So then within your position, within the position, I cannot speak, I'm sorry. Within the position of your external circumstances, you have the Six of Cups in reverse. So, yeah, I feel like you have been pouring so much nurturing energy into everything and everyone else that it's left you feeling barren, okay? And people are so used to you doing that they just take without question, and they don't actually even think that maybe they should be giving something back, that maybe you need some downtime, that maybe you could do with some support, right? So that definitely needs to change, okay? So it's good that you've kind of withdrawn from those people a little bit, withdrawn from those circumstances, so you can work on this, understand why this is happening, and heal yourself. But then moving forward, you need to change how you go about interacting with people, create clear boundaries, you know, set your boundaries so people don't continually overstep the mark, and that you don't feel like you're drowning, okay? Because that's what I feel like right now with these cups in reverse. I feel like it's actually filling up the tub and you're just drowning in it. So do set boundaries, make it very clear what you want or what you don't want. Anything that doesn't serve you, that doesn't feel right, that is sapping your energy, you need to either address it and change how you connect with those people, or change the circumstances, or remove it. It's one or the other. But you need to have clear boundaries, because clearly this is having quite a detrimental impact on your well-being, okay? So do have a look at that. So in regards to the position of your fears, right? You have the Father of Pentacles in reverse here. So this is the King of Pentacles, Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. So this is pretty much your energy, Capricorn, right? And you are in reverse right now because even though you're taking the right steps, you are on track, you are feeling depleted, so you're not operating on your highest level, though you are taking clear steps towards that, okay? And I think that what you're worried about, what you're concerned about, is because you know in yourself that you're not operating on the level that you should. You feel like, you know, how am I ever going to get there? Like, is it beyond me? Is that actually how I am? Or is this how I am? You know, is this the kind of reality that I can expect for myself? Am I just going to have to be a doormat? And that's not true, you know. I think deep down you know that's not the case. It's just you're concerned that because you're always being, you know, it feels like life and individuals asking so much of you all the time. You feel like, you know, you're never going to be sitting in that King of Pentacles energy in the upright. But that's not true. It's just that right now, this is kind of teaching you that, okay, you need to set clear boundaries. You need to know what's acceptable and what's not, and communicate that, because you're not doing that in this time, and this is what led to this situation. So it's asking you to do that, to set clear boundaries, and then from there you'll be able to interact in the way you wish to, but then also have the space and the respect that you deserve, right? So that's what you need to be aware of, that you will find yourself in that energy again. It's just, you know, there's a little bit of work that needs to happen here, right? And there's certain things you need to communicate with others. So in regards to your hopes, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse here. So I think you know that you're making progress at this time, but you're concerned that, you know, that this stairway, these obstacles that you're having to overcome in order to reach the light at the end of the tunnel, is just going to keep extending. that for every 4 steps you take forward, another 4 are added at the other end. But I don't think that's the case. I think you are making significant progress. The fact that you're even recognizing this and have made a decision to do something about it already tells me that you're several steps up the ladder, right? And I think that the way you're perceiving it is kind of illusionary, because there's been so many things coming up. But I'm telling you that a lot of it is in regards to what it is that you're having to change, right? So when you make those changes, you're not going to see necessarily the same cycles. Initially, yes, because that's life teaching you and telling you, okay, so you understand this? How well do you understand this? Let's put this in practice. It's not so much a test, but it's just showing you where you can easily fall back into the cycle, right? But when you refuse to do that, and when you stick to your guns, you'll see different circumstances coming about, okay? So don't allow yourself to be fooled into thinking that the stairway is just going to keep growing. It's not. You are moving towards the end of a chapter, okay? Especially because we can see the Ten of Cups there in reverse, here in the position of what's crowning you, okay? So you are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The moon is within sight. It's just that there's some work that needs to be done first, okay? So yes, you will get to the end of this. You are right, but just don't allow any negative thoughts to cloud your perception of what's actually going on here, okay? And then in regards to the position of the overall outcome for the month, you have the Two of Swords in reverse. So again, I can feel it from pretty early on in the month where you already made this decision to change how you communicate with people and how you're willing to interact with them, right? I feel like a lot of it, there's a reason why there's a few swords coming up here. And that's because, it's definitely to do with how you communicate and connect with people, right? To what level are you willing to take on their baggage, take on their emotions, take on their perceptions, right? Their energy. So it's about creating boundaries and being firm with that. So that's why the swords in particular are quite prominent in this reading. So yeah, I feel like you'll definitely make the decision to do that. You're not going to allow things to continue as they are. You're going to set firm boundaries. You're still going to be helpful and respectful and support people, but you're going to make it clear that you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. And therefore, certain things need to change, and this is what is required. Okay, so you're going to communicate that very clearly, and there's no doubt in your mind on what needs to happen by the end of the month. Okay, so that's great. This is really, really strong at this point. Really, really great reading for you, Capricorn. So what I want to do now is just clarify what exactly is happening surrounding these specific things, the specific energies and emotions, and what we can, shed more light on in order to help you at this time. So I'm just going to pop this to one side so I can lay out the clarification cards also. I know it's a very small table, so I'm having to try and maximize the space. I should probably not have so much things on the table, but there you go. Okay, so to begin with, you have clarifying the Four of Swords in the position of your current circumstances. You have the Page of Wands, okay? So yeah, you're recognizing the need to pour back into yourself. Therefore, you're learning new ways on how you can deepen your connection with the aspects of self. You're learning how you can really channel your energy and use it in a creative way. Use it in a way that's going to bring positive changes to your life. So you're taking on that student mentality of, how can I really embrace the laws of attraction? How can I really focus on my own personal growth so that I am operating on a higher level and that I feel like I am within my power, right? And you also got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So that's an interesting combination. So it's like, I'm not willing to hoard all of this good stuff that I've got coming my way, But I am willing, I am recognizing the need to create boundaries and, ensure that I pour energy back into myself. So I want to learn how to do that, okay? So that's great. You're already thinking about the balancing act, right? You're already thinking about how you can balance what you give and what you to others and what you give to yourself. So that's really, really positive. That's really important. Okay, and what about the Empress here in the position of your challenge? Okay, you got the Six of Cups. So, yeah, you know that you're willing to, I think you're kind of learning how to not only pour positivity back into yourself and, take care of your own well-being in various ways, but I think you're also learning how to communicate more positively with yourself, how to see yourself in a more positive light. It's like dating yourself kind of energy, yeah? You're kind of learning how to show love to yourself, right? So what's being asked of you at this time is you need to learn how to really embody this energy of self-love, right? Be the Empress for yourself at this time, not for others. So you're going to have to look at how you can really kind of step into that energy of self-love. So you may look at some self-help books, you may look at some blogs, there may be, because there's various things online and offline that can help you in regards to starting this self-love journey that you're embarking on at this time. So you're going to be learning and looking at how you can do that, right? So you may try things you've never tried before. Yeah, this cup of love that you're charging with is towards yourself, not someone else at this time. So you're really taking it seriously, I feel. And it's important that you do, and that you don't feel silly for trying things that seem kind of, outside of the box, or just doing things that you feel like, wow, this makes me feel really vain. It's not. You're having to override the negative thought processes. You're having to override your need to fulfill everyone, be the emotional fulfillment for everyone else but yourself, right? So it's a learning curve for you, but that's really, really going to be important. Because once you do that, you'll be able to step into the King of Pentacles energy in the upright, okay? So you remember we had it before here, right? In what you're scared of not being. If you do this, you will step into this space again, right? You will be within your energy. So that's why it's so important that you do that. And that you balance as well your sacred feminine and masculine energies. Okay? So let's have a look then in regards to your recent past, that Five of Swords there. Okay, so you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Pentacles, okay? So yeah, you were investing a lot into other people to the point where you were just like allowing yourself to be broken down and, not paying any real attention or care to yourself or your needs, right? But something happened, something came, like some situation forced you to address this. I feel with the Wheel of Fortune there, something happened that made you look back and readdress what it is that you've been doing and not doing, right? So what was this situation? I'm just going to clarify that Wheel of Fortune, because I definitely feel like something kind of said, look, here you go again, giving everything to everyone else and nothing to yourself. So therefore, here's the situation again. So yeah, something was said or done, and it really felt like they were taking the piss, to be honest. And when you kind of had this disagreement or whatever they did, that really, got you on guard, right? That's when you were like, oh my God, like I can't believe what I've been doing. And look what this person's doing. They're just taking the absolute piss by this point, okay? They just don't even consider how this makes me feel. They're not respecting me. And that set, that got your back up. So you started guarding yourself then. And that's what kind of led you to realizing that, oh, actually, yeah, I've been doing this a lot with a lot of people. Not just this person, not just this circumstance. And that forced you to reflect on this situation. Because yes, someone really overstepped the mark. I can see that, feel that, right? Okay, so in regards to the Chariot here in your new future, let's not drop everything in the world. Okay, so you got the Three of Swords in the reverse. So yeah, I feel like you're kind of done with everyone just kind of taking from you at this time. You know that that's not the energy you want. You know that that's very detrimental to your well-being. So, yeah, you're just kind of not putting up with it anymore. You don't care what people say as a result. You're just not doing it anymore. You're done with being like, you know, the last one considered, yeah? Particularly, I feel like this is not a this can sometimes mean a third party situation, but I feel like that's more to do with the household, okay? So this could be family related. I feel like a lot of the time people will worry about everyone else and then you last because you're the solid foundation, you're the one supporting everyone else. But frankly, you're just kind of done of being disregarded and not respected. But something is going to be revealed to you when you take this decisive step forward towards this new beginning, which is coming up very soon. Something is going to be revealed to you when you kind of put your foot down and you say no more. Something's going to be brought to your awareness. Something could be communicated or shown. Yeah, you're going to see that the reason this has been going on is because you've not said otherwise. So in their mind, everything was fine. They were like, well, you didn't tell us that you were feeling like this. You didn't tell us that this is how you're seeing it. Because we didn't think it was like that, right? So you're going to see that actually they weren't doing it intentionally. They just thought that, you know, everything was fine. And because you never spoke up, because you never kind of put yourself out there and, you know, create these boundaries, they just kind of thought it was acceptable, right? That it wasn't affecting you on any negative level. Yeah. You've been too quiet for too long about it, so they just kind of didn't see it as an issue. But of course, it is an issue, and you're speaking up about it now. So, as a result, that's going to change, right? So, what about the Magician here in the position of your feelings at this time? Okay, so you have the Six of Wands. So yeah, you know you're moving away from this space of lack, okay? You know that it's not serving you to allow things to continue in this way. So you're changing it, right? You're not going to be allowing things to just kind of happen around you. You're not allowing people to take advantage. You recognize that you have more power than you think within the circumstance, so you're changing it. Okay? Just saw the Two of Pentacles go flying out on the floor as well. So I'll take that. So it may be that you're gonna get some support, right? You might ask for some support. You might even go for some counseling, just to like help you work through this need to, you know, give to everyone else and not yourself. It could be that if you're in a relationship, you are seeing that you have some codependency issues or abandonment issues, or that you know, you find yourself constantly with narcissists, or like I said, the family just keeps taking advantage of you because that's how it's always been, and you know, it's created a lot of problems for you. So you're kind of wanting to get that professional help or that support so that you can work through this in another way, so you can see exactly what it is that you need to do in order to detach yourself from that energy, right? So you already have been going in this time, but I feel like you're going to be stepping out and saying, look, I need support from someone who is detached from the situation, that will help me to see it clearly, see even more of what's at play here, and give me some really well-founded advice as to what steps I can take in order to change this dynamic, particularly when it comes to my home life and, you know, my friends, family, you know, the people closest to me, partners. Okay. And that's Virgo energy there as well. Okay. So let's have a look then in regards to your situation, or should I say, what's crowning you at this time, what's within your ability to change, what's within your power to affect. Okay, so got the 9 of Cups. So yeah, I mean, you feel like you've not been operating in this space for a long time. All of this has caused a lot of headache and misery and sadness and all sorts of mixed emotions, actually. I think in some ways when you felt like you've been helping people and you've seen the positive changes that they've made in their lives, that made you feel very positive. You felt very, it gives you meaning, gives you purpose, right? But at the same time, when you see people not respecting you and neglecting your needs and not considering what your thoughts are and what your what support you need, that makes you feel very sad. That makes you feel angry. It makes you feel like it's imbalanced, right? So there's a lot of emotions you're still processing, but ultimately, you can get to this space of the 9 of Cups. You can feel like you are in control of your emotions, and that actually there's a lot of abundance, emotional abundance coming your way, which there is on the horizon, I feel. It's just that, of course, there is some inner work that needs to be done at this time, which you will move towards as well. So you also got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse there. So I feel like, while of course you want to sit in this energy, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles energy, you can't move fully towards that yet until you process these things and process your emotions, do the inner work, and that's what you're doing. And then once you come out the other side of that, then you're going to be charging full steam ahead, and you're going to set clear boundaries, going to change the way you go about your life. You're probably going to organize things very differently. You're going to start prioritizing things you need to do for yourself. So you may even change your schedule quite a lot as well in order to accommodate new hobbies, old hobbies that you're picking up, meditation, things that you need to do for yourself, whatever it is. You're going to accommodate for that more, I feel. So there's going to be a lot of changes that you'll be making once you've done this processing, okay? And then you have the Hierophant in reverse. So I think that the universe has been kind of pushing you in this direction for a long time. It's just that you weren't willing to accept the help yet because you were still trying to focus on everyone else. I think that you may even have been to counseling previously, or you may have people who are operating in that kind of line of work who have been trying to advise you, and you've not been listening to them because you feel like you've got it under control and you just need to focus on these situations that are going on around you and making sure these people are okay and your family's okay and everyone else is okay, but you're realizing that actually maybe they were right. So because of that, you're going to be embarking on a new journey, new self-care journey, new self-love journey. Self-preservation has become massively important to you, okay? This is really, really important at this time, so that's where your focus is lying, okay? So you're going to be moving forward towards that. You're going to be embarking on a whole new journey of what it means to be me, right? So what about in regards to the position of the advice, this 7 of Wands here? Okay, so you have the 5 of Wands. So I feel like, you may be overloading yourself with too many thoughts in that. Okay, I need to deal with this. How can I deal with this? I can't deal with it. Okay, what is the solution? I can't find a solution. And you're just fighting with yourself internally because you feel like, again, you need to have all the answers, but you don't. Find several solutions, as I said before, okay? Don't try and do everything in one go. Because you're going to need to find multiple solutions to various different problems anyway. So just take it one step at a time. And while you're doing that, don't allow yourself to get roped into conflict with other people, because it's a case of, no, I'm sorry, like you have to be firm and stand your ground and say that, this is what I need to do at this time, so you either have to respect that or we'll have to part ways. So you have to be very firm in your decisions as well, and not allow people to rope you into any disagreements or make you feel like you have to be on guard, or, you know, like take on any judgment from them, because what you're doing is actually the right thing for you at this time. You also got the Ten of Cups again, so in the upright this time. So by doing this and taking those steps forward, it really is going to trigger the end of this cycle, okay? So all of this emotional baggage, which comes largely from other people, you're going to be letting go of, okay? And then you're going to be stepping into this newness, okay? New start, new beginning. And so, yeah, you have to be a little bit, you have to be direct, okay? And you have to stand your ground, be firm, be clear, because you know where this goes otherwise. You've learned enough about, you know, this type of energy and this experience to know how it goes, and that it won't end well for you if you continue. So you have to stand your ground. You have to be, not cold, because I know a lot of people associate this energy with being cold, but I think you just have to be firm, you know, be solid in your conviction, right? Trust in that, you know, you're doing the right thing. So be firm and stand within that, okay? So what about the Six of Cups in reverse? That in which is surrounding you at this time, the external influences. Okay, oh, that's a lot, but we'll take it. Oh, okay, so you have the Queen of Cups in the upright, so that's water energy, actually. Interesting with the Six of Cups. So that could be you're dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but not necessarily. This could be the energy that that you're really hoping to be around. But I feel like this may be what you're doing actually with others. Because I feel like you've been pouring so much into someone else. So I feel like this is more your energy when it comes to how you feel emotionally at this time. That you've been pouring so much into others, no one's giving it back to you. So even while you feel like, okay, it makes you feel like very dependable, very nurturing, very loving. You feel like you're very kind, very trustworthy and honest and loving person. You don't feel emotionally stable though, because you've been waiting for someone to pour back into your cup, and that's not happened yet. So while there are some good energies that come from all the work you've been doing, you're feeling very, very depleted because no one's pouring. You're still waiting for someone to pour back into your cup, and that hasn't happened yet. So I feel like this is actually more your energy than anyone else's at this time. You also have the Empress in the upright again, okay? So this is how others see you, okay? This is the energy you're operating in, the Queen of Cups here. This is the energy you are also being seen as by other people, okay? So they see you as like the mother figure, the nurturer, the one they can run to when things are bad. You know, the support network, right? The one that will make everything better. But you can't do that, okay? You can't be doing that for everyone all the time, because you're just draining yourself. And even though it's great that you're perceived in this energy, I don't feel you are operating in this energy. You're actually more like the King of Pentacles in reverse right now. And a little bit of the you know, the Queen of Cups as well. So yeah, you kind of have to really work on that energy and detach, you know, and just understand the boundaries are important. Everyone needs them. And that doesn't make you selfish. It just means that, you know, you understand the need for self-preservation, right? You also got the Star in reverse. So, again, you know, this doesn't make you happy. This is not what you wanted. Yes, you want to support people. Yes, you want to be nurturing your connections with people. At the same time, you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be just seen as the one who can fix everything, and people not regard the fact that actually you have your own life, you have your own circumstances, your own problems, and that, you know, you need that support as well, and that actually you know, when you feel like there's a mutual give and take, that's when things are best for everybody, right? So it's really not, you actually really don't want it to be this way. And that's good, because obviously it can't continue really anyway. So let's just have a look then at your the position of your fear, that King of Pentacles in reverse. You've got the Justice in reverse. So yeah, I mean, this is Libra energy, by the way. So you know that until you do this work, you can't see the positive outcomes, right? You can't see this change in circumstance. So that's why you're having to do this work. You're having to, you know, not necessarily cut ties, but, you know, stand your ground, be firm, create boundaries, maybe even change the way you connect with people. You may be distancing yourself with some people at this time, but you just, more than anything, you just need the balance, right? So that's why you're doing this work. But you're afraid that even if you do that, that things are still going to kind of blow up in your face. And I don't think that's the case, right? You will see the change once you do take these steps forward. And you feel like, oh, is there any justice? Is there any balance to anything? Yes, there is, but it all depends on you. It starts with you, right? So that's why it's really important that you do this work. Okay, and then in regards to your hopes, well, I had everything in the world coming out then. There's way too many cards. Well, that went flying. Okay. So you have the Death card in reverse. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know that there's still some work needs to be done. But ultimately, yes, you are on the path and it is coming to an end, as we see here with the Death card. However, until, as you know, until these last few steps are taken, that boundaries are created, that's communicated, and that you do the inner work, you do the healing, you embark on this self-love journey. You can't have the transformation yet until you take those steps. Once you take those steps, then you'll see the transformation. Okay? So it is coming to an end, but as you know, there's always work to be done first. So once you do that, interesting, you'll also then maybe come across a new connection, someone that sees your worth and your value, sees all these positive attributes that you have, and there may be someone that wants to connect with you romantically as a result. So that's interesting. That just flicked up for you last minute there. So yeah, another positive thing to look forward to, right? So it's definitely worth doing the work. Okay, and then in regards to then your outcome, that Two of Swords in reverse here, you got the Devil in reverse. So yeah, it's recognizing that you always had the power to change this, okay? The decision always lied with you. And that you're feeling that you're tied to people, that you can't change it, that, you know, it would reflect badly on you in some way by setting boundaries is illusionary, right? That it's not reality. By the way, you know the Devil card is your card, it's Capricorn energy, right? And it's in reverse because obviously, yeah, you're not feeling like you've been in your power, but then when you make this decision, you come to realize that it was always within your, grasp, okay? It was always, you always had the ability to change this circumstance, you just didn't realize it. Okay, you also got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, once you do that, you can begin your journey. And then as the cycle ends, you will step towards your new beginning. You'll see a whole new opportunity, okay? Possibly in love, as I can see there with that Two of Cups. But in just with your the people you connect with in general, the circumstances you find yourself in is all going to change. But that's going to take time, and that means work on your part also, and not allowing yourself to fall back into this old habit of, you know, needing to fix everyone, you know, and not yourself. And then I just saw the Five of Pentacles in reverse as well. So it'll also prevent you from feeling like, you know, you're being left out in the cold and that no one cares. Because actually you're going to see that there are people who care very much about you. And that when they start to see and realize what's happening, and when you communicate that with them, they'll be more than willing to help and support you. But you'll also see then those who aren't doing that, who aren't prepared to do that, and then, you know, you can decide what to do and how you should, you know, whether or not you should continue connecting with them and how your connection should look, okay? So that's what I got for you anyway, Capricorn. I hope that was helpful. I know there was quite a lot of information there, a lot of cards came out, but you get the overall theme here anyway. It's that, you know, you need to take care of number one and stop pouring all your energy into others, particularly when there are a number of people in your life or that you've had to, or you've connected with recently, that are not even appreciative of what you're doing, okay? They just expect more from you. So yeah, do take that time to reflect on things. Do invest in your own self-care and self-love journey. Take on board the lessons from this situation, and, you know, just really embody that positive, high frequency energy, okay? Because that's what's going to really help you to step back into that space of being in your power and being in control of your reality to some extent, okay? So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. I know I was kind of a bit muddled in places. Mercury retrograde makes it so much harder. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts in the comments, particularly this whole new video layout. It'd be awesome to know your thoughts on whether you prefer this or just seeing me or just the cards. Do let me know. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I will look forward to doing your next reading for you. So take care for now.